and available treatment or control measures. WHO recommends countries strengthen surveillance in settings where humans and farmed or wild animals interact. WHO is also continuing to engage with manufacturers to make sure that, if needed, supplies of vaccines and antivirals would be available for global use.
He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the Highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1 through 4. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruchakodash. Double honor to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Haran coming back at you with another lesson, Lord, will it be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, today is April the 8th, 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. All right, and I believe we just had the so-called eclipse passed over us already. We didn't really get a clear view of it because it was kind of cloudy, but, it happened. It got pretty dark out here, but nothing too crazy. All right, but at the same time, you still have prophecies that we have to look forward to, right? And, I believe through the Spirit that after today, we're going to see a lot of things start to pick up. All right, and just right on cue, okay, you have this article here that says, W.E.F orders governments to declare martial law due to imminent bird flu pandemic about to sweep globe. Okay, and it's interesting because a few weeks ago, we started to hear the rumblings about this new bird flu, H5N1 that's going on. And I believe they already started working on getting a so-called Vanessa for it. That means that they're really going to push this thing. All right. This article here, which, let me see. It says experts, H5N1 bird flu demic could be 100 times worse than CV-19. All right, so we're going to go into that real quick, and then we're going to tap into the supposed W.E.F orders for so-called martial law. All right. It says experts are warning about the possibility of a bird flu demic that may be 100 times worse than the CV-19 demic. Recent events such as outbreaks in Texas and Michigan poultry facilities, as well as an uncommon human case in Texas, have raised concerns about a global demic with terrible consequences. This warning is specifically indicated for the H5N1 form of bird flu, which has been observed to be spreading rapidly among birds and mammals. This strain is much more dangerous than the current CV-19, with a 50% fatality rate. A high fatality rate has been associated with the H5N1 strain. Okay, so, you could call this propaganda, all right, or you can call this, a warning or predictive programming or whatever you want to call it. All right, our Lord did talk about the pestilences that's going to befall the earth, all right, before his coming. Okay, now we've witnessed the earthquakes, right? I believe there's more to come. All right, we've had the famines, which is really about to kick off on a whole nother level. All right, and of course you couple that with a bunch of different diseases, that's really going to do a number, all right, upon the face of the earth. Okay, the time of trouble, okay, and perplexity, and so on and so forth is what we're about to enter into. All right, Yahushua did say that all these signs were the beginning of sorrows, right? So let's keep going. It says, renowned researchers investigating bird flu have highlighted in recent briefings how critical it is to be ready for a possible H5N1 demic. Famous Pittsburgh-based bird flu expert Dr. Suresh Kukipudi, let's just use the word Dr. Suresh, emphasized the virus's worldwide distribution and capacity to infect a variety of mammalian hosts, including humans, right? And there was an article that I brought out, I think, in my previous video. All right, they were saying that, oh, there's no proof or any type of information that proves or shows that the flu can actually go from animals to humans, but yet we already have a human who's already infected by it. So we'll pay attention and we'll see what happens from there. It says he highlighted the significance of being prepared. See, why would you be prepared for something that doesn't really transfer from animals to people? It says saying that the virus is not just a potential threat, but is actively spreading among people. Oh shit. Okay, let's go. It says, quote, "We are getting dangerously close to this virus potentially causing a demic. It is really high time that we are prepared." Interesting. John Fulton, a pharmaceutical industry consultant and Bio-Niagara founder, expressed similar concerns, comparing the potential severity of a bird flu demic to that of C-19. Now, it makes sense now that all these states all of a sudden start to declare a state of emergency, all for the name of a damn eclipse. An eclipse that just passed within minutes. It just happened and it's gone, and it seemed like nothing ever happened, right? It seems very interesting that they've dispersed all these National Guard troops out there, okay, at least having the military ready to go, and we're already in a state of emergency, okay? And they're not just going to denounce the state of emergency, it's going to stay. Because the real reason why they brought them troops out there is what's really about to pop off soon, okay? It says he underlined the importance of monitoring and awareness, mentioning the H5N1 virus's high mortality rate. Fulton also emphasized the important role that mutations could play in determining the course of the demic, expressing hope that any mutations might result in a fall in the number of deaths. Oh man, it says this appears to be 100 times worse than CV, or it could be if it mutates and maintains its high case fatality rate. Once it's mutated to infect humans, we can only hope that the fatality rate drops. So they're not even prepared. Okay? It says recent outbreaks of avian influenza on poultry farms in Michigan and Texas have raised fears about the virus's spread. It is extremely concerning that a dairy farm worker in Texas tested positive for H5N1, marking the first known instance of a human contracting bird flu through mammals. Right? Remember back in 2020, the similar CV thing started. There was always one person that contracted it, and then they had traveled from one place to another. And they started to contact trace, and then it started spreading all throughout the states. And then ain't nothing going on, and then boom, lockdown, right? So it seems like they're using the same exact tactics, but just with a different invisible enemy, right? It says this represents an important move forward in the virus's spread and emphasizes the severity of the situation. Experts have expressed concern that the H5N1 virus may have mutated, making it more contagious among people and potentially causing a worldwide demic. Now, it's interesting that they're using the word mutated, because once this thing comes, they can play it in so many different ways, right? They could bring out one Vanessa and say, oh, this thing has mutated, so quickly we need to give you something else, right? So it's very easy for them to push this, all right, with sweeping draconian measures in the name of keeping people safe, okay? It says the virus has spread quickly. You hear that? Quickly among dairy cattle in several states, which underscores the necessity of being vigilant and ready to stop further transmission and minimize the possible effects of a demic. Okay, so that's going to include, killing off these animals, which they already started doing, right? But what happens when it hits people? Okay, what happens if they hit people? It says precautionary measures and Vanessa development. To prevent the spread of H5N1 and minimize its impact, preventative measures are currently being implemented. According to U.S. health officials, it says these involve closely monitoring infected people, particularly those who have had direct contact with infected animals, as well as evaluating Vanessa components. Okay? The United States maintains an inventory of bird flu Vanessas matched to the current strain of H5N1, and pharmaceutical companies like Sanofi and GlaxoSmithKline, it should be GSK, are prepared to develop additional Vanessas if needed. There you go. So the pharmaceuticals are already on board. That means that they have to create propaganda to sell their product. That's how it always works. Okay? If I come up with the most innovative piano in the world, am I going to, adhere to a need for pianos all of a sudden? No, right? But I've spent enough money to create this piano, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to use propaganda, whether it be through the media, whether through the medical field, whether it be through the Hollywood field, whether it be religion, whatever it is, to garner the need for that piano. Okay, whether it be through fear or whether it be through pitching a lavish life or whatever the case may be, eventually the need or the desire to have that piano will build up through the use of effective utilization of propaganda. Okay, so now that we know that these companies already have the Vanessa since 2023 and even prior to that, now they have to create an atmosphere that's going to need to use this Vanessa that they've created. Okay, hence you have this whole thing coming up. All right, so it says, however, the efficiency of these interventions is dependent on constant surveillance. You hear that? Contact tracing and even more, a more robust surveillance program. All right, something they've always wanted to do, but now they can use with the excuse of keeping you safe and monitoring these kind of things. Right? They're gonna use these surveillance techniques. Okay, meaning they're gonna be watching every step. They're going to be listening to your conversations and so on and so forth. It says, rapid response to outbreaks and ongoing research into the virus's behavior and potential mutations. Okay. Now, the next article says, W.E.F orders governments to declare martial law due to imminent bird flu-demic about to sweep the globe. Okay. So they just put it out there letting you know that this thing is coming. So get ready. Okay. And Tedros is chomping at the bit. All right, to finally give his draconian measures or draconian laws, all right, through that One Accord Treaty. Okay, and we did say this. I remember I was saying this even last year, that prior to the May 5th, is it May 5th, that they're going to be voting on this thing? There's going to be a reason for them to be justified as to why they have 194 countries, all right, giving up their sovereignty over to the Huda. There's going to be a reason. And look here, here comes the reason. Okay, it says, the World Economic Forum has ordered world governments to make the necessary preparations to declare martial law due to an imminent bird flu-demic, which they say is 100 times worse than CV. Right? And Professor Klaus Schwab already told the world that the next, demic or the next attack or whatever the case may be is going to make CV look like a walk in the park. So 100 times worse, that means that the measures that they're going to take will be 100 times worse than what they did back in 2020, 2021. Okay? It says, according to W.E.F scientists, the coming bird flu-demic will kill at least 50% of those it infects. Wow. Jeez, man. Man. It says, oh, man. Hey, the Lord did say, let me see if I can get that real quick. I believe Revelation, the 6th chapter. All right, the Lord did say that he was going to give these devils the power. Revelation chapter 6 and verse start off at 7. It says, and when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. Verse 8, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, which is the Western Hemisphere, America, Babylon the Great, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Okay? So, when you total all that, it's telling you that there's going to be a time, which we're fast approaching, where the Heavenly Father is going to give the go-ahead, okay, for Esau to experiment and basically kill off a lot of people, okay? GOV'TS, all right, is not named GOV'TS for no reason, all right? He's at the forefront of all this so-called pushing of so-called effective Vanessas to depopulate the earth, okay? So it says, quote, "We had not seen avian flu in cattle prior to last week. That is new," CDC Director Mandy Cohen warned the Washington Post this week. So another woman, okay? The last pandemic was another woman, Rochelle Walensky, whatever. All right, well, she's a J, all right? And then now you have Mandy Cohen. Cohen, it sounds like a J name, so I'm not surprised, right? It says it is a reservoir for the virus to circulate and potentially change. Infowars.com reports cattle in the number 6, different U.S. states have been diagnosed with this new bird flu strain. Okay, that's interesting. It says the Daily Mail spoke with Big Pharma insider John Fulton about the outbreak, with Fulton telling the outlet, quote, "This appears to be 100 times worse than CV. Or it could be if it mutates and maintains its high case fatality rate," end quote. In a scenario strikingly similar to the origins of the CV-19-demic, the U.S. and Chinese governments were working together on avian flu gain-of-function research, which makes viruses more infectious for humans. Interesting. GOP Rep. Thomas Massie of Kentucky shared a screenshot of a February 2024 Daily Mail article with the headline, quote, "Revealed. U.S. is collaborating with Chinese scientists to make bird flu strains more infectious and deadly as part of a $1 million project, despite fears similar tests unleashed CV," end quote. Another one says, "Where have we seen this before? U.S. collaborates with China to make bird flu more contagious and transmissible to mammals? Bird flu now discovered in U.S. dairy cattle, transmitted to at least one human being? Knock it off already," Massey wrote. Okay, so he's putting everything together basically, right? So again, they're telling you the revelation of the method. They're telling you that this is an inside thing. It's not going to just magically just pop off and, oh my goodness, here we go. No, it's done on the inside to push a certain agenda, okay, which we told you what the agenda is, all right? It says the article also made multiple connections between the U.S.-China bird flu research and the infamous Wuhan lab where CV-19 originated. The main collaborators on the project are USDA, Southeast Poultry Research Laboratory, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and the University of Edinburgh Roslin Institute, a Wuhan lab partner, Daily Mail wrote. Additionally, one of the researchers collaborating on the project is Wenji Lu, who is affiliated with the W.E.F, which is believed to have sparked the CV-demic, and a member of the board of a scientific journal working with Zhengli Shi, who is known as the Bat Lady for her extensive work on bat coronaviruses, right? It's all coming together. This may be it. It says, secretive U.S. bird flu research was also being done at the infamous American-run Ukraine biolabs, according to the Russian government, as Infowars reported in May 2023. The task force of the Russian Ministry of Defense, together with officers of the Federal Security Service and Razil Koznadzor, have confirmed the collection and certification of avian influenza virus strains with a high potential for epidemic spread and the ability to cross the species barrier, particularly the H5N1 strain, whose lethality, wow, that's a nice name, that's a nice word right there, lethality, and human transmission can reach 40%. Remember that 1% of new CV infections result in death. So 1%, results in deaths. How much more? 40%. This is going to turn out to be something very interesting, and it's going to be something for black. All right, they come in straight into the Jake neighborhoods. That's really where they're going to be pushing this stuff at. Okay, because if you have a Jay who's pushing for this shit, and they've already came out and said that you Jakes are the biggest threat to them, what does that mean to you? That they have to eliminate that threat by all means necessary. Okay, they already have technology in these Vanessas that can target a specific population. All right, so you already know what time it is, man. This thing is about to, blow off the hinges, especially us being in the last days. Okay, it says the Russian Ministry of Defense also claimed the Ukrainians tried to destroy the biolab in an effort to cover up the U.S. avian flu research. I'm not surprised. Okay, continue. It says, according to the employees who remained in the reserve, the Ukrainian side offered them a large cash reward for removing or destroying the research results, the ministry stated. The World Health Organization warned, or the WHO warned of a potential bird flu outbreak back in February of 2023, right? And I believe alongside with another thing called Marburg, right? It says, and the U.S. started work on producing Vanessas for both birds and humans. Okay, so like I said, if they already have the Vanessas ready to go, they just need a reason to use them. And the reason is being created right now as we speak. Okay, it's extremely bizarre that the potential outbreak is taking place during an election year, just like CV, and that the establishment has already been steering people away from consuming cow meat and milk, as well as chicken meat and eggs. Okay, so could we see some form of bio attack? You know, I know they ran a drill, I believe it was in Colorado, where people's milk was infected. Okay, and then they were being rushed into the hospital and all this different stuff. So could we see that actually be a live run? You know, with all these states already declared a state of emergencies, it wouldn't be anything new for them to just kick right into motion, right? So hey man, we'll see. There's a lot of things going on. All right, so we just gotta keep paying attention. You got this war heating up out there in the Middle East, okay, between Israel and Iran. All right, we know according to prophecy what happens with that. Okay, so things are definitely heating up, and the days are definitely being sped up, man. So again, today is April 8th, 2024. All right, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, right? So let's pay attention and let's see what happens, with this and what direction is gonna lead into. But again, like Yahushua said, let's get that real quick and then we're gonna close it out. All right, that these times that we're living in is the beginning of sorrows. Okay, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6 on down. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Okay, why is the end not yet? Because there's one major prophecy left, okay, before the end actually comes, and that's going to be the mandatory implementation of the mark of the beast, okay, the MOTB, all right, where no man might buy or sell except those who take that mark, and that mark is a physical access to the economy, which is going to be by way of a microchip. All right, point blank, we're just going to tell you as it is, okay? It's not a mystery that you need to, oh, it could be this or it could be that. No, it's one thing, all right? And when the time comes, you will see. Verse 7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences," okay, "and earthquakes in diverse places." So those three things, well, 4 or 5 things, right? Nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, so that's war, all right? Famines, all right? Famines come as a result of war. You see how it's put in that succession? And when there's famines, diseases also arise from that because you don't have the ability for your immune system to keep on fighting, right? So you could get one disease that could get infected and then it keeps on going from there and you keep on spreading it, okay? And when there's a famine, animals come around. And when the animals are infected and they come into around the places where people are at, it could spur up a lot of diseases and illnesses, right? You have earthquakes in diverse places, right? Which is what we're witnessing in these last days. The Lord said, all these are the beginning of sorrows, okay? So we're definitely living in the time of sorrows, and it's about to kick into a whole nother level, known as Jacob's trouble. All right? So anyway, I'm going to leave it off there. Lord willing, you were edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, the water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, and until next time, Shalom.